Morning. I'm looking at Jeremiah chapter 39 and 40 today. They tell of the fall of Judah finally. And there's two interesting men actually that acknowledge God, and they're not even Jewish. It's pretty interesting. But first, in 39, Zedekiah, he tries to run away because the Babylonians are taking over the city, and he goes out the back way, I guess, and the Chaldeans overtake him, and they kill his family in front of him, all his sons in front of him, and then they put out his eyes, so that's the last thing he sees. And then they take the nobles into captivity and leave behind the poor. They let the poor have, whatever land, vineyards they want. And actually, they leave the country in a pretty good place, but not for the rich people, only for the poor. So it's unfortunate that Zedekiah didn't listen to God and take his warning, because he would have been saved a lot of trouble and would have been better off for him. But God's punishment is just, and it looks like he's doing the right thing. And then Jeremiah is given the choice of, hey, you can come with us to Babylon, or you can go to, you can stay in Jerusalem under Gedaliah, who's gets put in charge of, he's the governor now, and he served under the godly men of Josiah, so I think he's going to do a good job there. But the Ethiopian guy that had let Jeremiah out of the prison, Ebed-Melech, he is told by Jeremiah that you can rest assured you're going to be safe because you put your faith in God. And that was a very striking story, because this is the Jewish God they're talking about, right? But no, he's everyone's God. It's just the Jewish people were given an opportunity to really follow him, and they kind of blew it for a few hundred years. They were given the truth, the word of God, and they really could have made something more out of it. Instead, they followed the wickedness and turned to idolatry. And this guy's granted a reprieve because an Ethiopian, someone who shouldn't believe in God by all rights, because he didn't grow up that way, he turned to God and he was justified by his faith. That's kind of powerful. And then the leader of the Babylonians who took over Zedekiah, he's actually like the bodyguard of Nebuchadnezzar. In chapter 40, when he takes Jeremiah and he takes him out of the prison and sets him free, he tells him, I know that your God had something to do with this. He recognizes that God was in control the whole time, and he grew up with the Babylonian gods. So it's interesting, and it's kind of powerful. These men that were not of the Jewish culture, even they could see that God had power here. They recognized that Jeremiah was telling the truth. It's obvious when you just look at it without your prejudice, without your selfishness. I think that's pretty powerful. I want to keep that in mind moving forward, just that our God is the one true God, and we should definitely not turn to idolatry, keep up with it, but also that anyone, even if you didn't grow up in that faith, you can come to the point that you believe in God. Anyone can. I think that's important. So I'm not going to give up getting out the Word of God.